Hawkins and Ajax in this. Oh fuck! I need to pull up that guy's stuff. In Carnum's little hut there. There we go.
So yeah.
So, what would you guys like to do?
I mean, if we left off where we left off, I'd still be holding the book, and I guess.
And it's been calmed down, and you can try to look through it for magic spells at a
But
later
they're all in
date
the wrong
because
language.
yeah, and you also are going to need special magic paper and ink to be able to put the spells in your spell book.
What if I just stitch it to the back of my spellbook?
You still need the magic paper and ink.
Also,
Well, I don't rewrite any of it though.
You're like, so essentially the way it is right now, if you were to try to cast spells out of the book, they're gonna work like a spell scroll. But then when you get the paper and ink and translate the spells, you can put them in your book and they become spells that you know.
I didn't know if I could just like at will switch spell books.
now
You could, technically, but then you'd lose all the other spells that you know and you'd only know those 10.
So I switch back.
what if one doesn't have a spell book?
Such
in my case.
Honestly, I'd let you go through a ritual that costs like, I don't know, a diamond of equivalent value to the magic paper with your patron.
Okay.
You get the spell.
Sounds good to me. Because it's written in that language, was Hawkins able to read it? I think we said last time we were getting the list.
Oh yeah. I forgot to do that. Shit. Yes, you can do that at a later date. I'll get you a list before next Friday for sure.
Okay. Then I guess the book goes in the back in the bag.
Now that you guys have been talking with Karna for a while and been interacting with him for a bit, and you kind of like backed away from him to deal with the book, and while he was watching you guys do that, he seemed to be getting kind of antsy and almost kind of like pacing back and forth a little bit, but is still like he's still kind of well reserved and not trying to impose.
Would we notice the, I guess, slight change in his mood, I guess?
Oh, absolutely. You can hear the footsteps.
I guess after stashing the book back in my bag, I turned to him and be like, hey, don't worry, it's not gonna explode anymore. We calmed it down, and what you pacing for?
Oh, well, you see, I've been here for quite a while, and I'd very, very much like to get back to what I was doing beforehand, if you wouldn't mind.
What, talking to no one?
No, getting out of here.
Oh, I thought you said you couldn't do that.
I haven't been able to, but you guys just showed up, so there's actually a chance that we might actually be able to get back.
So you, okay, I understand. You want us to get back to what you were doing, not just you.
Well, I mean, you might not have been doing what I was doing, and that's fair.
Right. You just made it sound like you were leaving and like going off to do something, and I was like, okay, well, I'll see you later.
Oh, well, I don't mean to be rude. You know, if you'd like to continue and stay for tea, I'll gladly entertain you, but you know, it's been a
Like
few years at least.
more so, like, do we need to come with you? Like,
Oh, I'm very capable of my own means getting back to my home, but for some reason I can't do it here. It's not letting me. There's some magic stopping me from using my magic.
yeah, I understand. I mean, like, you were saying that you needed out of here, right?
Well, yes, this weird dimensional space.
And where are you going to get out of here?
Well, assuming you came from the tower, yes?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get back into the tower, and then, unless you need me for anything more pressing or urgent, I'll just teleport to my home.
Yeah, no, not like the part that I'm having trouble with is like you're just say that we can go back now, but we haven't even tried to go back yet. We don't know if we can just walk back.
Well, that may be the case, but I've been here for what feels like years.
Right. So I mean, I would I would think I would be more of the assumption that none of us can get back now, rather than you are just able to travel back now.
Well, I'm not getting too excited, but you know.
Right. So do you need us to come with you back to the entrance?
Well, how did you even get here?
What, through a door with the cube, like we said? Yeah.
Right, but which door?
Do you not know which door?
I know which door I came through.
Or which door was that?
The one on the little like storage hut on the dock, right?
No.
No.
Can I
No, our door was in a big room full of tables and goblins.
I don't remember there being goblins, but no, I mean like the building you came out of when you got in here.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
By the way, can I roll an insight on the old man?
Go for it.
I don't know how I don't have good in it, but still.
What are you trying to determine? Whether he's lying, whether he's like, what are you trying to feel out?
I'm just trying to feel out why, like, just after maybe like that, because maybe it took like what 10 minutes tops or something to do. Why he's getting all antsy all of a sudden, just like that, just
You've
that
spent
quick.
probably like 30 minutes with him and like having tea and chatting and asking questions and then going over all of the magic items that you've showed him so far.
I have a question, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading this item, and the way I'm reading it makes it useless.
Which item?
A reader's eyeshadow.
Hmm. How so?
So I can put the eyeshadow on, and I can read a language, but it does not allow me to speak, write, or understand the language. So I can read it, but I don't know what I'm reading. If I can't understand what I've read, then it is
Okay.
effectively useless.
Yeah, no. Well,
So I just can't speak or write. I just
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
can,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'll fix that. I copy pasted this item because it looked really interesting and very
Okay,
useful
cool.
for the way I set up the areas.
Can I use one use of it and ask to read the spell book?
Yes, but I don't have a list of 10 spells for you right now.
Okay, so I'll just wait.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
We'll
wait
do
for
that later.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can also, there's other stuff that the eyeshadow works on.
Right, I just forgot we had that.
Yeah. You guys when you guys picked that up, you pretty much put that in your pockets and were like, yep, this other thing that you got at the same time was cooler.
Yeah, and then we were walking around like, oh, I can't read that. Fuck.
Yep. And in your pocket was the answer this whole time. But with that insight check, you can tell that he doesn't seem to be attempting to withhold any information, but he definitely seems like he wants to get out of this island as soon as possible.
Okay. I would ask him, well, before we venture out towards potential exit, is there anything you gotta grab out of here?
Oh, not really. All of the stuff I pretty much made or found here, and I have this, and he holds up this big book that is kind of weird. It's very large, and doesn't seem like he could have had it on his person, but he kind of just like pulls it out from behind his back, and it's this very large tome that has a couple of latches across the front, and there is uh, a symbol on the front which has like 8 arms stretched out from the center, all making fists. Hawkins and Ajax, you can both make Arcana checks if you would like.
Okay.
Got a 9.
I'm gonna give myself guidance.
Sure.
I got a 10, I guess. Let's see, Dior. I got 11.
Hawkins, you kind of recognize this symbol. Its familiarity only extends to other places that you've seen it before. You've seen it a couple of times at your school, and you've seen it like once or twice on like maybe little pins or badges of different like random people just that you've encountered in the past.
If it helps, my passive Arcana would be 17. But no one uses those scores that way.
Damn. No one does use the scores that way. I asked for passive insight too. What the fuck? I will say the passive in the situation isn't as applicable because it's such an obscure symbol. You would have to be actively trying to research this subject at some one point or another for your passive to work well in this situation. But
I was gonna ask the guy. He said that his magic wasn't working here. I was just
Um,
curious about that. Of like, is like just all of his magic not working, or like being able to teleport is not working?
okay. You or so he finishes explaining that the book he's holding up, he kind of just like wrote everything down and all of his experiments that he's done in this area, and to try to get out, trying to understand what it was. Um, and then he says, "Oh, it only seems my teleportation magic of great distance, or to a specific location isn't working. Plane shifting, um, none of the higher tier teleportation magics seem to be working. I can do pretty much everything else that I've tried."
So as long as you stay within the bubble, you're fine. But if you try to
Mhm.
leave, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, we can go check out the door. Hopefully, I mean, like, hopefully it's simple and you just go right through. If not, who knows?
Oh, yes, please.
I guess I'll go outside.
All right. So you guys head back to that little hut that you all came from, and the door is slightly ajar already.
I take the lid off.
As you push the door the rest of the way open, it opens into the.
No, I took the lid off the jar.
Oh yeah, I know what you meant, but in this context, that means pushing open the door the rest of the way.
Okay.
It opens up into a small storage hut with a little table, some rope, random tackle box shit, a barrel in the corner.
Oh man, this is where all those fishing supplies were, and I only found a rod and reel.
Well, this seems
Did
unfortunate.
we? So whenever we spawned here, did we show up inside the room or like come out the door?
You came out the door.
Okay. I shut the door.
I'm gonna go inside and shut the door.
Okay, as you
Like,
shut the
one of us
door,
on both sides shut
right?
door.
As the door shuts, Hawkins, on your side, you see it start to glimmer and shine and start to kind of become like the type of portal that you walked through to get here. Ajax, you see a door.
I'm gonna open the door.
The portal in front of Hawkins shatters and falls into dust, and then the door opens, and Ajax kind of is just standing there.
Man, you know,
Alright,
it's really
shut the door
boring and
again.
dusty in here.
Shut the door again, real quick.
I step out because of like, oh man, my allergies acting up
No,
in there.
no, no. We need somebody inside to be able to open the door again, because I don't think that we can open the door once the portal spawns.
What?
Like, does the door handle disappear when the portal spawns?
Yes.
Yeah, so like if somebody's not inside that shack, then when the portal shows up, we have no way of opening the door.
Well, now that the door's shut, is the portal forming again?
Yes.
I don't know
What
what
have
you're
you
tripping
done?
on, little man, but I'm gonna, I'm gonna go through the portal.
All right. Ajax vanishes through the portal.
Okay. I'm gonna wait a couple seconds to see if he like jumped into a blender or something.
Okay. Carniv will also step through the portal.
If I walk into the other room and he doesn't come through in a couple seconds, I'll stick my head back there like, Hey, the fuck you doing?
As you step through the portal into the other side, you are greeted with a familiar red floored room, but a lot of stuff seems to have been moved around quite a bit. And then as you turn around to look at the portal, you're kind of just sitting there waiting 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. You stick your head in, and Hawkins is just kind of standing there, and Carniff is also standing there.
Oh, I thought Carniff already went through the thing. But yeah, if it's safe, then I'll just go back through, I guess. He said everything else here was like pretty much useless anyways, right?
Pretty much, bar like you might be able to find some rope or some like netting or some other stuff like that, but
I mean, I'll take some rope and I'll leave.
all right, you find like 20 feet of rope that has a knot in the middle of it.
Cool.
And then you all appear back here.
See, my plan was to like poke a stick through it and then have you open the door and see what happens to the stick that's half in and out of the portal.
Ah, where's the fun in that? You gotta go head first.
As you're going about your daily duties today, Ulir, after such a length of time, your friends joined by a kind of short half-elf elderly gentleman, and they emerge from the portal.
As we're walking
Alright.
through, I would turn to the old man and be like, "See, we made it through just fine. You didn't even have to worry about anything."
He visibly kind of calms down and he kind of seems a little bit more relaxed, and as he glances around, his eyebrows raise and he starts scratching his head. Thank you very much for bringing me back, but this is not how I left this place.
Well, like we said, goblins and such, and all kinds of other shit.
So as you guys come back into this room, all of the destroyed wooden clutter that was over on the left side of the room is gone. The tables and pelts are also gone. This room is pretty plain except for the deer head on the ground and the like antler stuff.
Okay. Ulir, how much time has passed since you have awakened?
From what I can tell, you guys have been gone for a week.
Week. So,
A week, you say?
how long were we in there talking to the guy?
Oh, well, you were only with me for what felt like half an hour.
Half an hour. So, say, like, meandering a bit by the dock, coming, finding you, talking to you, coming back, fucking around with the portal. Let's say about an hour. So, like, 1 hour there is about a week. So, if you were there for about a year.
Oh, God. Oh, gods. It was longer than a year. It felt like years plural.
Well, then I might say if your friends were humans, they're probably all dead.
Oh, gods. Well, this will be interesting.
Also, your shop might not be there anymore.
Oh, well, if the city is still there, hopefully the shop will still be there.
So like how many years? Like 2 or 3?
Uh, what?
Well,
I ask him, what's the name of the city again?
so as he mentions the name of the city, you guys are kind of blown away as it is the capital city of the military that you guys were drafted into.
No. Well, we are still fighting for your city's military, so they're still around.
They have a military?
Yeah, I mean, we were fighting a big
Technically, that
battle
would
with.
be us. Technically, you were saved by your town's military.
I mean, we were participating in a battle before we ended up here.
We've never had a military before. Okay. Times have shifted greatly.
Would I know anything about the capital city that either taxes or something that he might owe after all this time, just to fuck with them?
So you know that the going rate for owning a business on the Capitol grounds is actually very, very expensive prime property, and there are only like 4 or 5 grandfathered businesses that are still there from the founding of the city.
But did they have to pay these things every year, month?
The grandfathered in ones have like really weird, like ritualistic payments that they make every year, but all the other ones is a pretty steep fee that's barked around for monthly.
I would ask him before you go. How long did you say your business had been there? Is it one of the really old ones, or are you kind of not what they would call the grandfathered in ones?
Um, well, seeing as how there's a military now, is it just like a federation of cities, or is it like an empire, or is it like what's that deal like? And you guys would know that it is an empire.
Oh yeah, it's an empire.
Oh wow. Okay. His face like grows very concerned and um yeah, I don't remember anything about grandfathered in um or anything like that, and offhandedly, you having lived in this city, um you would know that the city has had a standing army for at least 250 years.
Oh boy. So he's been gone a long time. I'd be like, well, bud, either your shop's gone or you're gonna owe a lot of back taxes. So be prepared for that.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of paperwork I'm going to have to deal with. Well, if you don't need anything else from me, I'll go ahead and take my leave. And he kind of like waits around expectantly if anyone has any more questions or services they would like to ask of him.
Where will you go?
I'll go back to my well, if it's even still mine, shop in the capital.
Can you give us something to find you again if we would happen to need you?
Oh, absolutely. And he kind of digs down into his pocket and he pulls out two little silver tokens. And they have that same symbol of arms kind of sticking out, making fists on one side, and on the other side, there is a little kind of relief of Carnif's profile, and around the edge is etched in Carnif's enchanted oddities. And Ajax, you recognize that name as a very it's like the best magic shop in town, and there's pretty much locations all over the empire.
What, like, there's like a chain? It's a chain? Or
Yeah.
I would be like, well, before you go, because I recognize that name, you didn't have any sons or daughters or any, children, did you?
No, I've gone on plenty of adventures. I could have plenty of children. Who knows?
Well, I'm talking about in the Empire that you were planning to run your business when you were gone.
Oh yes, I have partners.
Well, I can tell you your shop's still around. There's a lot of them now. It's apparently become a chain. So, yeah, you might be,
Enterprising. I like it.
but that's the real question, if you still have the rights to it or not.
It's got my damn name on it.
I think that's what you're gonna have to take up with the Empire. Also, side question about the Empire, just because it is an Empire, like, because I know Den plays League of Legends. Do you know anything about Noxus from League of Legends? Is this like an Empire like that?
So every empire and country and king has their own ups and downs. If you were to put your empire on a scale between Noxus and Demacia, you would be like Ionia Light.
Okay.
If I did the math, if he has been in that room, that like pocket dimension, and the time ratio is consistent, if he was gone if he is 4 years in there, it'd be 672 years out here.
Jesus Christ.
That sounds somewhat close to the founding of the capital city. The capital city was founded somewhere about like 800 or so years ago, give or take.
Right. He just said many years, so, or like multiple years. So I
Yeah.
went off 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Also, I'd like to say this whole time I've been like kind of shouting this stuff across the room. I would like to be if the antler is not all the way off, I assume it would probably be.
It's all the way off.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be yanking on the top of the thing to get it off.
It's been a week. It hasn't done shit. It's still just like a tiny dent.
Oh no! Like I figured it'd be on the last little bit. And I just put my foot on top and just be yanking that shit off while I'm having this conversation. But no, I want to pick up my antler.
Absolutely, it's fucking. It's a honker. It's at least a 10-pointer. It's impressive.
So, idea, brain blast, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we are able to go back and forth from that dimension, theoretically, we could go in there, all of us, and then just like eat dinner and stuff. And then hang out and come back, and time jumps forward. So we could just accelerate the aging on these goblins to like gain a cult following of magical goblins.
This is like some fucking what is that? It's the last season of JoJo shit. Heaven, whatever it is. Oh, Made in Heaven, yeah. It's like some Made in Heaven shit where it just speeds up time dramatically.
Because like if we go in there for 2 days, it's like a year here.
So is this like a pocket dimension that we take around with us, or?
Oh,
No, it's a door.
Oh, okay.
We have the key though. Does the key come back out of the door?
If you walk up to the key and you push on it like you did last time, it pops out a little bit, and you can.
Oh yeah, I
pull
forgot
it
I
out.
did that.
Yeah, but see, the problem is if somebody comes take that key out, we're trapped in there. We need somebody who's either immortal or can live a very long time to be on this side of the door.
That works. Let's see, how am I written? What did I write down? Oh, I'm only 69. I can live up to 500. And I don't eat or sleep. Oh.
Also, I'd ask our cleric, hey, where's Gom and his robot body pillow that he had?
Do you remember what I told you?
Just
What? Sorry.
I was asking your character if he knew what happened to Gom and his robot body pillow.
No. As far as I know, Gom has been trying to become the leader of the goblins, and during that time, I have been doing studies of my deity and my religion.
Okay, interesting.
oh,
What's really interesting is that my deity came to me in a dream and bestowed me with these rings, which are in my palms and forehead.
As he kind of like holds up his hands, you see that there are two little silver rings that are intertwined, almost like etched into the palms of both of his hands. And if you look at him kind of closely on his forehead, there are two little rings that almost seem to be like just underneath his skin, pushing his forehead out a little bit.
Are these like
interesting.
actual metal or do they look like tattoos?
It looks like real metal. It looks like how silver inlay on a ornate sword handle would look.
Okay, 2 questions, Jordan. Is that guy still here, and what was his name?
Carniv. He is still here, and he is kind of like just waiting to see if you guys will ask him anything else or if you guys will move on. And if you guys move on, he will teleport away. He's kind of like slowly drawing a circle on the floor and writing runes into it.
Okay. I did CARNIV.
K.
KAR.
Yeah. NIV.
Okay. My question for him was this: of like, if all of this stuff has progressed crazy, and you go back and are put up in high regards potentially. I know you're extremely old, but you may become someone of legend, especially someone that seems to have magic as strong as yours is in during this wartime era. You should definitely put in a good word for us. Maybe if it's not too much to ask, in even if it's possible to work out some kind of nobility title or something. That would be amazing. But
He as he's drawing the circle and you're you're talking, he like looks up every once in a while but continues to work, kind of like he's definitely listening to you, but he's also like still like making sure he doesn't fuck up the circle.
yeah,
Um and he kind of
just
giggles
if
to
you have great
himself.
fortune.
Well, you've definitely saved the rest of my life, for what it's worth, and I can definitely put in a good word for you if I have, you know, something to which you are speaking. But we shall see. And as my offer still stands, if you come and find me at the store, if it still exists, then we can continue to do business and honor our professional relationship.
Okie dokie. Well, have fun with your new lease on life.
He nods and continues to draw his circle.
So, what do we want to do now? Do we want to go back to the main room, or do we want to go into the pocket dimension?
Well, I don't really care. It's kind of funny either way. Like I we can just keep going. I don't really know where we're going though. Um, because like I think this is like one of the last doors
I mean,
here.
I would think we just probably go back towards the main room. I mean, there were other rooms, weren't there? But
I guess well, like there's like I think we've been to most of the rooms. Like we could go back to the entrance. It may let us out now.
well, that's what I was saying. Back to the entrance. There were other rooms back towards the
Oh
entrance.
yeah, yeah. The door resisted us before, but maybe we've completed whatever it wanted.
So do you guys want to head back to the lobby then? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So did Gom get teleported out, or did he go back through the lobby? I wasn't clear on that.
So if you guys walk back through with the purple carpets and go to the circle room and then look around at the other rooms, the rooms that was full of tents is fairly similar, except some of the tents are moved around, and there is a large wooden chair built kind of in the middle, and Gom is kind of walking around and like talking to the goblins, and they all seem to kind of just like listen to whatever order he barks. And though strict, he seems to be a pretty kind leader in comparison to the previous goblins that were uh in charge of the group. And Gom says that while you guys have been gone, occasionally monsters have snuck in to the to different rooms, just like inexplicably found their way into rooms with nothing but kind of like a collapsed little hole behind them, as if they kind of dug their way in. And he says that he will have the goblins patrol around and keep the area kind of clear so you guys don't get kind of overrun by a place that hasn't necessarily seen action in a while.
Well, while we're in here, could we get Gom to either help us or order the goblins to help us get these machines that were supposed to be blocking this doorway?
He has already moved all of them into the lobby.
Okay.
Cool. So then at this point, it's just like go back to the lobby, pick a different path, or we can fast age goblins with like me and Gom, I guess.
A goblin army sounds fun.
I mean, we can do that. Uh,
Because like if I'm on this side with the cube, I can just pull you out whenever on whatever interval you want. But like
I mean,
how many years do you think it would take to like breed and teach goblins things?
it shouldn't take, but maybe a couple years at most. Goblins reproduce pretty fast.
But they're also pretty stupid.
I think it depends on who's leading them.
Well, I mean,
Sure.
we could like goblin eugenics and just breed only the smartest goblins.
But we'd also have to breed the strongest too.
Well, see, I mean, that really depends on what kind of army you want. We could have an army of spellcasters, or we could have an army of just brutes.
Yeah, I mean, I have like magic school books and the ability to just stay with them and teach them the entire time you guys are gone.
Well, I mean, depending on how long we want to like do the fast thing. I mean, I would also like to maybe stay out here and practice train up, and I can maybe show some of the goblins and I like point to my, special weapon that I have, my fucking the thing that makes me a warlock. I can also show them maybe how some different kind of magic.
Interesting. So
Easily rotate out of the pocket dimension since I'm a war priest, whatever.
yeah.
Train them in that as well.
Question, DM.
Yep.
If we spend time out here like training these goblins up, will we get any experience / levels? Especially because we're training the whole time.
Yeah. So like that's like the main question at this point I have is like if we decide to do this.
I mean, I don't want to
Will
infinite
it actually pay off?
I don't want an
Well,
infinite
yeah.
level. I just want like maybe a level.
Well, like I don't even like be like that. I mean, like if we decide we want to stay and work with goblins over time, are we going to like literally turn the game into like raising goblins? Or are
The
we
Sims but goblins?
yeah, or are we hand waving it to a time jump and then like rolling for like time intervals? Like what's the
Okay.
plan?
So to kind of give you a idea of what this goblin army is meant to do mechanically. This dungeon tower thing is essentially magically refilling itself with dangerous entities.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to,
I assumed that much.
yeah, if you wanted to full clear this dungeon and get everything and make sure that it was a safe place for you guys, there were safe places for you guys to retreat to without knowing what's in front of you, then if you didn't have a goblin army, you might end up working with the military that originally drafted you, or you might need to hire your own form of mercenary to kind of just act as guards.
Nah, fuck that Goblin Empire, man.
So
Yeah, like I'm fine with training the goblins. I'm just like curious to like if we like because like I'm fine with doing this and like mechanically we can make it age as much as we need up to like 300 years.
I don't know how long I live.
No,
Dom
because
definitely
if
won't last that long.
I know, but if we throw them into the pocket dimension and then just have me stay back after we get to them to a certain point, I can withstand up to like 500 years of age, and I'm only 69.
So
So I can take the brunt of time, and they can sit in the box and then come out at intervals to train people
what are
for
you
a day.
wanting to accomplish?
Building like more and more population and like training them and teaching them things
Um
like like making the goblins better and better and bigger and stronger. Like we want to like make the goblins like actively useful and like smarter, but we don't have to do it to that large of a scale. I'm just saying that like that's my like max is like 300-400 years.
mhm.
I don't think we need to go that
But
far.
yeah.
So with the way that goblins tend to reproduce, you wager that you probably wouldn't even have to use the pocket dimension, because you could kind of just like teach one generation and then like basically have them teach their next generation, and then like maybe within like a week to a month of time you'll have enough goblins to patrol more than just this region of the dungeon, and then even longer than that you could have even more. Like they'll essentially start to like exponentially grow as time goes on, and I mean, I don't think you'll really need to use the chamber much at all for the purposes of that, but like to use them actively to clear stuff for you, um like equivalent to like what, a level 2 fighter, a level 3 fighter? Like what do you how
I was more
powerful do you want the
thinking of like
goblins to get to?
I was thinking like I was trying to like make level 1 or level 2 wizard goblins.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a few warlocks in there.
What would it take to have a goblin empire?
I think we would have to like we can keep building it over time, but like from at this point, one if we spend our time here for like a month or two and build and maintain this area and have like guards posted everywhere and fully like um industrialize like this floor, and then go to another section of dungeon once we have this floor entirely under our control. We can start spreading our goblins more because we have more space for population. Because at a certain point, we're going to get overpopulated and it's not going to be functional.
We're gonna have a goblin civil war.
I mean, goblins don't really live that long either.
Right, but there is still like a population growth rate, right?
Yeah, and that will also depend on how powerful the monsters are that are showing up and how many
Right.
survive.
We just kind of want to get it to. I just want to kind of get it to the point where we're like, we have a goblin like militia army formed, and they are maintaining this floor so that we don't have to like maintain it. Like they're keeping this floor clean, and we're just gonna move on, and then maybe come back and get some of them to help us.
Gom's already actually pretty much got that mostly set up. If you want there to be like more goblin shamans, or more specifically goblin wizards and goblin warlocks, that will take
Like hell, even like a handful of wizard goblins that are like level 1, like are powerful because they get 6 spells. Like a couple of them can be useful.
There's already goblin shamans. You already have those.
Yeah, so I just
You
need
left
to
the
like
book.
we left the book.
Yeah, you guys left the book of magic stuff and a note by the door.
Oh yeah, that magic book. Yeah. I was more meaning like I thought you were talking about the other book.
No, my book's still in my bag.
Yeah. Yeah, if we we could just like teach them some spells as well. Like I don't know.
I'd say you could teach the shamans a spell.
Like because like if they have like some level 1 or level 2 spells in the book, we can look at those, and then I have a bunch of spells I could show them.
I'd say you could teach them one spell a week. But they'd probably only withhold maybe like 3 to 4 spells maximum before it starts to become too much information for them to be able to like hold on to and like continue to pass down.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. I think like if I taught them, like, is it so like are we doing that just for my spells, right? If of like what I would teach them over a couple weeks.
You could do Ajax spells as well.
Well, instead
Hell, you
of
could do Ulir spells too.
instead of my spells, I had a question for that. Since I'm technically a warlock, but I'm a hexblade, and I've never heard anybody, because a normal patron, pretty much anybody can withdraw power from them as long as they come to an agreement or whatever. But in the case of a hexblade, if I wanted to say get like, oh hey, that goblin wants to become a warlock and he wants to believe in the same patron I believe in, would he get the same like hexblade shit I've got? Because I've never heard anybody
So
like actually go into that.
So like a role play wise, like the immediate thought I have there is like if you have the goblin like cut itself with your blade and like offer blood to it, and then it in exchange gives is like given like powers, so they're like connected to your sword.
Because like nobody goes into like how that actually works with a hex blade or a warlock weapon to get other people to believe in that patron. Because I mean, isn't the weapon essentially the physical incarnation of the patron, something like that?
Most of the time, my thought for how that works is it is either a sentience that has been created, or like it was either made by a god or made by like an ultra powerful being of some kind, and it could be the representation, like a form of representation of the patron, or it could just be its own entity. So depending on how you want yours to kind of roll out, you can
Well,
have it be like a manifestation of a patron, or you can have the blade be the patron itself.
well,
And if
basically,
the
what I was trying to get at for that to like have it like instead of me giving them my spell list or whatever, I want it to like equip some of the goblins with maybe have them be like hexblade shit instead of just like spell. They can have spells or whatever, but like more along the lines they have
They just get like a
enchanted
cursed
weapon
blade.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you like two different like options that my brain comes up with for like how you want to role play that. Like you can absolutely do this, but depending on which one you want to go with, or if you have a better one that you think is cooler, it might change how it looks or how it turns out. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But essentially, you're kind of just converting the goblin's belief from their deity to yours. And so once that occurs, yes, they will get warlock stuff, but you don't know exactly what will happen
I
with
would probably say if
what
I
they
had to
want to do.
choose between the options you gave me, the blade would probably be like a physical manifestation of the deity, even though they're elsewhere. They put enough power into a weapon or whatever the fuck and made it their little like, they're in this world, this plane, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
I had like a weird thought of like if you could like also do a like Hunter x Hunter kind of vibe where you like make a cursed blade out of like a condition.
Oh yeah, like fucking oh, what's his name? Gon did that shit.
Yeah. Um. So, can I teach them level 2 spells?
One sec. Let me see.
Because I mean, I'd be fine with them having like at least just a baseline and fucking enchanted weapon and just them knowing Eldritch Blast. I'd be perfectly fine with that.
I can teach the shamans like healing word and the barrier or whatever I got.
Say it again. Sorry, Joe.
Oh, the shamans teach them
Uh-huh.
like healing word and I got like a barrier or a shield.
Do you
Shield of
guys want
Faith.
like an even split, or do you want like more of one kind, more of another kind?
Basically, I would say like have Ulier train the shamans to be like support healers.
I would say
And
I only need maybe like a handful. I would say Hawkins can have the majority unless they want to split it between them too. I
right,
at least
like
want the
I would give all of the shamans to Ulier, and then like even split all of the normal people between us. And then like
So you want no goblins trade by Gom?
um I mean, like some of them can be normal warriors. One thing I considered is so like if we are training with if he teaches them like a cursed blade and eldritch blast, and then I teach them like misty step and um shield,
Mm-hmm.
and we teach all of the goblins those four things.
No, I will say you can make different goblin classes, but you cannot make a multi-class goblin.
I just want like 5 or 6 at most, but for sure one of them's got to be that one I called stupid. I want that
I'm
one.
kind of you want the one that fucking still fucking held his feet up?
Yeah, I want him plus 5 other ones.
All right. Is there any? Can I? Can you give me spells from the spell book that I can teach them potentially? Or do we need to like? Because there used to be paper and ink and shit here. I don't know if it like counts or not.
What is your current spell list? Let me see.
My current spell list.
Yeah, let me see what you got. Okay. So they can learn a third level spell,
Okay.
but a third level spell will take significantly longer. As would a second level would take a bit
See,
longer than a first level.
right. I do not know any third level spells. Right.
Right.
Even if you give us a level up and we go to level 4, I still don't know third level spells.
Okay.
I don't even know what I get next level, to be honest.
So you can teach them anything on your current spell list, because they can learn up to level 3. So,
Right, but I would only be able to teach them level 2, in my opinion.
at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ulir, do you want a let's see. I'm gonna swap your page for a second. Do you want a following of Baranor the Dwarf Mother amongst the goblins?
Yes.
Okay.
We also have to be sure to teach them not to fight each other amongst different gods.
That one's gonna be a little bit more tough. You might have to rely on Gom to keep that as like an active reinforcement kind of thing.
But the follower is not forced. The goblin seemed interested in my faith.
Okay. Roll a um give me a persuasion check, Ulir.
Trying to find.
By the way, how would you like me to determine what deity my hexblade comes from?
Um I do not care. You can pick a D&D deity, you can pick fucking Thor, you can pick fucking
Oh, you're gonna give me
Jupiter,
free range.
fucking. But I will say, if you pick something that is not an active, like, deity within the known pantheon currently, you might be hard pressed to find a, like, a large place of worship or large groups, congregations of your particular deity.
Let's see.
Week 1, teaching them 2 cantrips valid.
What the fuck does Mind Sliver do?
You drive a disorienting spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or take 1d6 psychic damage and subtract a d4 from its next saving throw.
Roll an Arcana check with disadvantage, and you can use guidance if you want.
Okay.
Ray of Frost works for sure.
Oh man, I'm trying to find that one deity I know. Give me a minute here.
Yeah, I wrote an 18.
Let's see.
Disadvantage, you still
19.
got a 17 and an 18. What the fuck?
Yeah,
That's
plus
hilarious.
2. So 19.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
do...
I'm gonna link this.
Okay. So then.
Here's who I want as my my patron.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't seen this guy in a
Jubilees.
long time.
Is that similar to the Ooblex or whatever? The like slime that turns into people?
Basically, he's the slime god. Any ooze or slime on any plane is pretty much under his control.
So is your sword just like made of slime? Do you just have like a bright green sword?
I wouldn't say it's made of slime, but I'd say it's got some slime shit on it. Probably with a few eyes here and there, I guess, because he's got a bunch of eyes.
Okay.
This is the thing I was learning about.
Oh, the Mind Flayer.
The ooze made by mind flayers.
Okay. Then Ulir, you manage to convince 10 different goblins that the path of Baranor is the true path. Then if everybody's gonna spend a week to teach goblins some stuff, then you succeed. You teach a sect of 8 goblins. You teach them Ray of Frost, and one of them, who is elected as the leader by you, manages to learn Mind Sliver. What are you trying to teach to your peeps, Ulir and Ajax? What spells and or abilities are you trying to instill?
Well, like I said, how many choices do I really get here? Because I want them for, if it's possible, I want them, the 5 or 6 I have, to have uh weapons like I do that can pretty much transform into anything on their whim. Any weapon, at least, and Eldritch Blast is just a fucking
The
standard thing.
standard, okay. Let's see. How did you come about finding this fucking sword? And how connected would you say your character is at the moment with Dweeblix?
Jubilee. I don't think we decided how I came upon the sword. I think we just said I stumbled upon it.
I genuinely don't remember
Yeah,
anything with how you got it.
yeah, I don't think we decided that. If you just want to go with something, because I'm a smuggler, you could say I was out on a contract, went somewhere I wasn't supposed to, and found this, and then I've changed my line of work since then, and I would say I'm probably not super well connected with them, but at least enough to serve them.
At least enough to have heard the call and, you hear voices in your head and all that good shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Give me intimidation checks. Just one.
I have proficiency in that because I'm menacing.
And it will be standard.
21.
All right. So you managed to convince, by your sheer presence and how I'm kind of picturing you just walking around and pointing at one and then just fucking making them walk around without much talking or movement at all, just sheer fucking, they're terrified of you in how you left their brethren. You get 7 goblins you decide upon, other than Feet Up Boy, who doesn't really seem to be afraid of you for some reason. But everybody else is. All of them, you have all of them run their hand across their blade, and their hands kind of get this horrific gash that quickly becomes infected, and it never heals. But from all of them, they get the ability to cast Eldritch Blast, and Foot's Up Boy actually, as he does his hand across it, his gash becomes infected, but then it slowly starts to heal, and a dagger sprouts out that looks very similar to yours and falls to the ground, and he picks it up. And he learns Eldritch Blast as well.
I knew it. My boy's special.
You're my boy, Blue.
Ulir, what did you want to teach?
How many spells can they learn?
For currently, you guys are only spending a week at the moment. So you can teach them like potentially up to 2 cantrips. You can teach them a spell, like a first level spell, or you can attempt to like really see how deep their belief goes and see if they can get connected to your god, though that one might be a little bit more difficult. The ones you've got seem to believe, and are able to kind of learn, but you don't know how well teaching them like your cleric specific moves will be.
All right, I guess do healing word since it's a level 1 spell.
All right. You have your little church of Baranor, all run by goblins, and one of them really takes everything you've taught them to heart, and he sees himself as a brother in the cloth and leads the other goblins in morning services about Baranor, and all of them learn healing word.
Just picturing like Pope Goblin standing on a bunch of these like floor panelings in front of everybody.
And then like in the other corner, there's a fucking like arcane crystal and like weird symbols all over the place and hooded goblins just like chanting at like orbs. And then another corner, there's just fucking like edgy goblins that are all like practicing like shank skills and stuff.
Oh yeah, also I want it
They're
like
just cutting themselves and feeding blood to weapons.
Just like it's in that corner is the super emo goblins.
if I also have the chance, I want to instill in the like the little special one who got the blade some kind of like because my background is a smuggler. I want to instill in him like some kind of like smuggler thief kind of like instinct into him, if possible. Just during that time, if I have time. If it's not, it's okay.
I mean, we can do another week.
Yeah, you can spend more time if you want, but roll a we'll say roll a stealth check with disadvantage.
Oh, good. Negative or natural one.
He seems to be currently rather overwhelmed with his dagger, kind of almost getting distracted and staring at it for like very strange amounts of time, like while facing a wall or something like that. And sometimes he'll whisper to it, which is kind of strange and off-putting. But then as you like try to teach him stuff, he'll like start to get it almost, but then he'll like focus on his dagger again and just kind of keep stomping around. So you think he might pick up he might pick it up over time or like at a later date, but right now he's got too much going on.
Okay. Fine by me.
I don't know if we ever got the answer to the leveling thing of like, are we leveling about after like having finished this first floor, or are we leveling during like the time jump?
So you will level after you finish clearing the floor. You have cleared one wing of the floor so far.
Gotta do some more shit.
So we got to clear like all 3 rooms then, basically.
Yeah, all 3 directions from the lobby.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds fun.
Are any of us blacksmiths able to train the goblins to make better armor rather than just crude?
We'll see. I was about to get to something on that. I was gonna say before we leave, because I just had this thought. I haven't thought about it before. The floor paneling. I know there's been bits and chunks that we've like had before. How actually hard is this floor paneling?
You think that you'd be able to teach the goblins blacksmithing stuff if you spent more time with them. But for this week, currently you have only had the time to actually, you know what? Fuck it. Make a fucking. I'll let Ajax roll for it. So make a.
AJ?
Who did I just say then?
You said me.
Oh, yeah. For the blacksmithing thing?
Yeah. I let Ajax roll for teaching more stuff to feed up boy, who seems to be Ajax's goblin protege.
Right, so Ulir is like rolling for smith tools then?
Yeah.
I can help him with that because I'm also proficient in them.
Yeah, sure. Fucking make a. What fucking stat is it connected to?
Whatever you decide.
Yeah, it's DM's call for most of the tools. They really don't
Oh,
have
okay,
stats
shit.
that specify.
Well,
Yeah,
fuck.
like whenever I
Make
click
a
smith
perception check with
tools,
advantage, and then you can do guidance as well.
I can do smith tools roll, but I can apply either charisma, wisdom, intelligence, constitution, dexterity, or strength to it. Which one would you like?
It is a perception check, so wisdom.
Perception. Interesting.
You got to be able to know what to look for in the hot metal while you're smelting it, fam.
Got
It's
it.
not just a
So
fucking.
intelligence for knowledge.
No, it's wisdom, because that's what perception is linked to for some reason.
Right, no, I know, but like you said I had to know what I'm looking for, which is not looking for it, it's knowing what I'm looking for.
Yeah, but it's linked to wisdom for some reason, because that's what the skill
No,
sheet
but
says.
I'm not rolling perception. I'm rolling for the intellect to know what to look for, and then that'll give me advantage on perception.
No.
Just let either one of you guys roll for that, whoever has the highest.
No, I just roll it. Like,
And
is
now
what
it's
I think.
Ulier's roll.
Yeah, it's his roll. Whatever. He is
Rolling
the
perception.
same. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I think he has a 5 or 7 on that one.
He's got advantage, so he's got a 9. Do you want to do guidance?
10.
Okay. So you managed to teach your cleric brother in cloth, head of church of Baranor Goblin, a little bit of the basics of reforging this kind of scrap iron. So it's no longer like the crude, uninformed, kind of just haphazard smashing together that was prior. The goblins are now going to be blacksmithing around kind of like, it's like amateur blacksmithing. So like they can make some decent stuff, but it doesn't look pretty. But it's more effective. Since it is 10:50 ish at this point, you guys want to start to wrap it up, or do you want to keep going?
Say wrap it up. Be a good
All
time,
right.
little time jump. Let them train up.
Yeah, I mean,
And
fine with
if
that.
we're wrapping it up, do you guys want to do an extra week of trading and then for like 5 minutes and then we're done?
I'm
Then
fine
we
with
get to
that.
teach, because then we get to teach the goblin one more thing.
Do I need to make a roll for trading that fucker some more?
Depends what you're trying to do.
I think.
Do you want to teach everybody more cantrips again? Do you want to teach them spells? Do you want to teach them a particular skill set? Kind of
Uh,
depends.
I would like to. I think it would come in handy. I think giving them the smuggler slash like kind of that skill set would be handy because then they could be a little bit sneaky beaky about it.
All right. Make a stealth check with advantage. Hawkins, what would you like to? Hawkins and Ulir.
That
What
is a
would
natural
y'all like to
20.
go for?
Lol.
Yeah, easy peasy. Fucking your little cult of the ooze goblins are now like kind of almost an established, like really kind of amateur thieves guild almost. They You kind of build or manage to come up with a little kind of like training dummy made out of wood to kind of like practice pickpocketing, and you kind of come up with a route through some of the doors with some people posted and some obstacles to kind of practice sneaking around. And so they have their own little training area for thieving stuff, and they all pretty much get the hang of some basic sneaking and thieving kind of skills. And Feed Up Boy takes to it rather well and is very he like almost has a knack for it. He's very acrobatic.
Like that's how it's just become his nickname, Feet Up Boy.
Feet Up, unless you decide to give him a new title, he's gonna remain Feet Up Boy until he becomes Feet Up Man.
I'm fine with it.
Um, I was gonna say the things I was gonna try to teach them was the level 1 spell shield and like either teaching them to like study on their own more or like make them learn common more if they don't already know more common.
Okay. Make a Arcana check with advantage. Nice. Everybody seems to pick up the spell rather quickly, and you manage to teach the basics of reading common to the leader of your mage sect of goblins. And he has started gathering all of the goblins together and every day writing words on a part of the wall, and he'll like point to one letter and pronounce the letter, point to the next letter, pronounce the letter, go to the next, and then the crowd of goblins will repeat, and then they'll do the word, and then the crowd will repeat. They don't seem to nail it very well. It kind of sounds crude and a little funny at times. But you think that they're on the right track to become fluent. They're learning. What would you like to teach your sect of the mother goblins, Ulir?
Is it possible to train them in another level 1 spell, or is it just cantrip?
You can it was like you can pick 2 cantrips for a week. One cantrip might not work, but one will. Guaranteed. If you choose a level 1 spell, you can do the spell, and then you can like pick a kind of skill. But you won't be able to get 2 level 1 spells within the week.
And we've already done 1 week. We're on the 2nd week, correct?
Correct. You've already given them healing word, and they are basically like beginner smiths.
All right, I'll train them in Shield of Faith. Level 1 spell.
All right. Give me a religion check with advantage, please. You managed to teach the main clergyman Shield of Faith, and with his help, you managed to get about 6 or 7 more of them to learn Shield of Faith, but not the entire congregation. But the clergyman continues to work with them and trying to get them to learn more, but you don't know if he will be effective or not.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like how I look up Goblin Cleric, and none of the other pictures are as funny as like picturing his head person looking like this.
Damn. He figured out how to make that shit really fast.
It's just my investments.
You know, I thought about it just now, final, and like somebody that has the spare the dying cantrip can just like cut somebody open and just like start like surgery on them, and like every time the person starts dying, just like spare the dying, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, why? This is in the wrong folder. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I'm currently writing up notes on what you guys have done. We will wrap it up there and then bring it back in 2 weeks with you guys in the lobby looking to move on.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I like how this is slowly seeming to turn into uh you guys slowly rebuilding the empire of the goblins and like bringing their civilization out of the Stone Age once again.
Yeah. We like knocked them back to like infancy and then made them greater than they ever were.
Well, I mean, they got knocked back to their infancy because their god made a deal with another god and lost his divinity. And so they're like the goblins used to rule the world, but their empire completely collapsed because they lost their like right to be a divine race. Like they no longer have a god that represents them, so they don't have like an official afterlife.
Mm. The well, I mean, like if like theoretically, if it got to the point where we built an entire like goblin kingdom up again with like the three of us at the top of that, you would have like the weirdest
Yeah.
rulers of a kingdom ever. It's like we got a cleric, a warlock, and a wizard with an army of goblins.
and an insanely powerful barbarian general.
That's what I'm saying. Like we can just turn around and the people that we enlisted with, we can just wipe them out with our army of goblins.
See, this is what we do. We like clear the tower, then we get outside the tower, use the tower as our base of operations, and we kind of
Yeah.
just build around it.
We what we do is we settle the tower and build out like that, make an independent like city, claim alliance with the army that sent us back here because our friend that who like owes us his life is like exists as like a major figure in the past. So if all things go right, he gets a lot of power.
He
We are associated with his power because he owes us one, and like yeah.
he's gonna get thrown in jail for back taxes.
He
Technically,
just like
like
shows up the IRS, just like he like appears in his like store, and then all of a sudden some like cloaked figures of like, Mr. Carniv, you haven't been around for the past 800 years. You owe approximately 100,000 platinum.
Well, if
Please come with
somebody
us.
was there expanding his business and opening more like chains and turning it into a chain business, all of them would like have to pay their taxes through their own business that they're running.
It's the magic IRS, man. They can do whatever they
And
want.
theoretically,
They have a
by that
fucking
logic,
like
he could
Marauders map
also
of the
have
city. They see
like,
his name pop up.
but like he could also have like all of his treasure and stuff, and it like slowly gains interest and like inflation over time. So he gets back, and like he's just amazingly rich.
This is the Futurama Fry thing where he had like $1.75, and 1,000 years in the future, he's a fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
By the way, have any of you
Like he's a
watched?
strong enough mage to cast plane shift. I imagine he's able to maintain a lot of power.
Have
Yeah,
any
he's a
of
pretty powerful individual. You garner from his extensive knowledge of very high level spells.
and see, you suggested fucking murking the old man, and that wasn't a good idea. But have any of you seen fucking the last season of JoJo's or any of JoJo?
I am
I
past
got up
first
to the big.
arc.
I'm at the beginning. I'm like halfway through the third arc, and then I like got distracted and stopped watching.
I don't remember. I remember he fought. I think I went through second arc because it was like World War II vampire guy showed up and
Okay, well let me
there
ask
were
you this:
Germans
do you
around.
plan on watching to the new shit at all?
Oh, I'm down to. I don't have Netflix or I don't have any shit to
I
watch
have
it on at the moment.
Funimation.
Oh, because I just don't want to.
Yeah.
The thing was gonna post was gonna show something towards the end, but I don't want
I
to
mean, I'm
spoil.
fine with that. Like I'm aware. Like I'm not like super into the like JoJo culture, but I'm like aware of
Okay.
like where it goes in the stands and all that stuff. Though I'm still stuck on
That
You mean
fucking
Jesus Christ, the
that
original
other
JoJo?
method.
this
Jesus Christ,
I find it
Joseph of Nazareth.
I find it funny that you can actually do that with a fucking Apple Watch, but it's also very similar to what happens in the fucking show. But that's basically what would have happened if we went into the pocket dimension.
Isn't there like a scene from the manga of JoJo where like Jesus was the original JoJo
Yes,
because like his
something
name
like
is
that.
like Joseph Josiah or something like that.
It's something like that.
Dude, that's so funny.
I'm pretty sure
I
that's
gotta
like the
look this up.
non-canon territory, just like Dio's above heaven or something like that.
Dio's above heaven.
No,
What?
whatever his what's his fucking stand's name? The World. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right now
The
it's called The
Wardo.
World. And if he wins, like in the alternate non-canon where he wins against JoJo, it's the world above heaven. That's what his stand evolves into.
Uh,
So because of the time, Jesus' name could have been could have been like spoken as Josiah, son of Joseph. So he's technically a JoJo.
by, by potential pronunciation technicalities.
Yeah, because that's how like people would have like spoken to people at that age.
Well, another thing that they don't show in the show that I'm pretty sure that's in the manga, the president of the United States is also a fucking Stan user.
Does he have like an eagle?
I don't know. I don't know what the
Is
stand
it a
looks
gun?
like, but
Is it a nuke?
I do know that like on his back, his like.
Is it the concept of capitalism?
No, I think it's similar to what they have in the My Hero thing, where the strongest person for America can make up whatever kind of rule set they want, and it is implied onto the world. I think that's their stance power. But also, he, as the president, I don't know if it's a tattoo or if it's a birthmark, but he's like a fucking American flag on his back. I think it's
That's
like a
great.
birthmark.
That's fucking yes.
Mark.
we definitely need to choose our president based off of who has the best birthmark and how close it is to the flag.
This here's Mark. We speak American.
We only eat American cheese and American hot dogs. Would you